Blunier.
Here.
Tillier. Leach.
Here.
Mennel.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
Parrott. Here.
Can you join me in pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no public hearing, no presentations or special report. Any comment from the public? If not, the consent agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes at the regular meeting, January 2nd, 2023, and the approval of the bills. If we could have a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Blunier.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Parrott.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have one item under myself, the appointment of John Sorelli to the vacant spot on the Planning Commission seat, and that would expire in April of 2028, four-year term. So if I could have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Parrott.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yep.
Motion carries.
Village clerk,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
village administrator.
I have one item tonight, Your Honor. The Business District Commission met, and they have made a recommendation for a building improvement grant for Amanda Pyle. Actually, two-part grant. She applied for a grant to replace and reconfigure the front windows and doors of her new location at 121 South Main, and then also a design and engineering grant for project that she is doing for additional interior work.
If we could have a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Leach.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Parrott.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, chief of police.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
I think you're handling corporation councils, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let you handle that.
I'd like to direct your attention to page 6 of the tow ordinance, section G, under number 2. There was an error in the initial ordinance that stated that vehicle operators or tow operators would be required to be on site until 9 p.m. to release vehicles. It's actually incorrect. It should read 7. That's been struck and corrected from 9 p.m. to 7 p.m. And that's the only amendment.
Okay, we can have a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Any questions? If not, call the roll.
Blunier.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Parrott.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Director of Fire and Emergency Services.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Director of Public Works.
Several items tonight, Your Honor. First, item A in front of you is a IDOT MFT seal coat resolution that I'd like to ask for approval.
If we could have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Want to explain that?
Yeah, this is a resolution to spend up to $150,000 MFT funds towards our 2024 seal coating projects. I sent all of you an email and then also put a list in front of you. I would like to just note that you'll have another opportunity as we work through this. I may even revise some things, but it's important, obviously, with IDOT to get it in because their MFT, our calendar with them is January through December. So now's the time to get those in. We can amend later, streets, whatever. But I had talked to the mayor about some of these streets. We still need to go on a drive, and then with the trustee over streets, discuss that. But with that, I'd like to get approval so we can at least turn this into IDOT to get that started.
Is there more seal coat work to be done with city money, or this all that you?
This would I've been typically doing overlay with general funds, but just seal coat and the fog coat with this. So this is all I'm anticipating this year is the $150,000. Again, we could amend that and add some things, but this is what I'm looking for at this point.
Any other questions? If not, call the roll.
Mennel.
Yes.
Parrott.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item, item B, is an ordinance making amendments to Title 8, Chapters 3 and 4 of the Morton Municipal Code regarding the rates charged to users of the water and wastewater system.
We can have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Yes, just briefly, as discussed in our meetings with each of you, this ordinance would revise our monthly water and sewer rates as detailed in your packet beginning February 1, 2024, and set annual increases on each May 1 for the years 2025 through 2028. I think we've come up with a good solution that keeps rates very reasonable going forward, but also puts in place needed rate increases to improve and keep our facilities and infrastructure in a condition to meet current and future demands. In particular, we're in the process of finalizing our wastewater facility plan for submittal to the EPA to prepare for the reconstruction of both of our wastewater treatment facilities on the south and the north end of town, beginning within the next several years. We anticipate the cost of these improvements to be approximately $40 million. As part of this process, we will be requesting a low-interest loan from the IEPA in order to fund these improvements, which is no different than almost any other community, especially in Central Illinois. Again, these increases will provide the necessary funding to construct these much-needed improvements. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions. Before I do that, again, some of the questions that will come back, even from the public, the need for this, the need is, to remain in compliance with both of our MPDS permits, which is a requirement through the state. This is a requirement, we believe, to improve these facilities as our community grows and develops. So with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions. I appreciate Trustee Leach, Trustee Newman helping us to get this going, and I appreciate it getting expedited.
You have anything you'd like to add, or?
Just comment, these are significant increases over what we're currently seeing in the way of both water and sewer, particularly sewer. But again, we have facilities, sewage treatment facilities that are, the original heart of the plant is approaching 50 years, it's 45. So it's well past due to make some major reconstruction down at the south plant. And again, the rates are not out of line with what we're seeing in other communities. Other communities have spent a lot of money on similar construction over the last 5 or 6 years, particularly some of the nearby communities. So again, if you just look at the dollars, it's kind of a bitter pill to swallow, but there's no other way around it. It's work that needs to be done. We need to finance it, and we need to pay for it. And this is the way we're going to go about it doing it. And it does seem to work from what staff has put together. Probably and I will comment again, the toughest one is that user fee, the increase in the user amount. That is a significant increase over, what, 3 times? 3 1/3 times, I think.
The service charge.
The service charge.
Yeah, the sewer and water service charges together would be an increase of about $5.51 here immediately on your monthly bill, and then by 28 it'll increase to $5.91, so a little less than $6 a month extra.
Craig ran it on my monthly water bill for February of this year, and the increase of my residence would be $5.51 on the fixed amount and $1.64 on the volume. So my monthly increase on my residence, which is a 2-story, is $7.15. So I think it's reasonable. We haven't had a rate increase for 10 years, but I will tell you, negotiating opportunities for Morton to expand industry and jobs here, if we want our property values where they are, business, lots, houses, we need good infrastructure. Because one of the main reasons businesses come is our infrastructure is in place, it's quality, they're not paying to update infrastructure, the home values, and then we have police, fire that's outstanding, school systems outstanding, park district outstanding, and they're coming to Morton for those reasons. But infrastructure has to be kept to the standard we have it. And I think this does it. It's a low government interest loan that everybody else does sewer plants. No, I don't think it'd be wise math to save up $30 million over the last 10 years and the 7 of us start to spend it elsewhere, and then we need the 40 million. So I think we've gotten the breaks for 10 years. I think it's reasonable, this request, and we answered the government's responsibility in order to get this loan. So I appreciate what the trustees and the staff have done, because it was a lot of work and a lot of good intent to do the right thing. So thank you to all of you, because I think $7.15 on my house to continue the infrastructure level we have, all of us will benefit by our house values.
And I would like to add, I did leave a pamphlet of information with you guys too. You know, obviously if we're saving up to spend $36 million, I gave you, I think it's 5 pages out of the facility plan, which is about 415 pages. I do have a copy of that. It's not final, but that would be available to all of you to review also. But it kind of goes through how McMahon Group and us came up with the cost, you know, to justify why we need to, you know, have enough money to pay for $36 million in improvements. And then on the back sheet, it does go through kind of our plan of design and construction, a time frame. So we're hoping to get started fairly soon with the design. I would come to you prior to this next fiscal year for a design proposal. And our hope is we would be out for bid, you know, 12, 13, 14 months from now, with construction beginning sometime, you know, in late 25 would be our hope.
And also, they're forecasting the population of Morton within the next 20 years heading toward 20,000, around 19.4. So we need this infrastructure to handle growth, subdivisions, people working in industry. So I think we happen to be in a very good spot at a very reasonable rate. I'm thankful the government can fund this and give us a low interest loan to get it done. And our boards and mayors have always been good about paying the bills, so I think it's reasonable. Any other comments?
When you talk about wastewater, and it's highly corrosive, and it's lots of mechanical going on, and it just has to be kept up. We don't have a choice but to not keep this up. And my experience with animal waste, but it's, you just have to do it, and it has to on a regular basis, or you're going to end up with a bunch of wore out, corroded machinery that's not worth anything. And when we, at my house, when you get rid of your waste, you know, it's just magic, you know, it goes away. But it's not there's a lot to it. Plus with the EPA and all involved, and what we have to do to make sure the end result of our waste is compliant with the EPA. It's no small feat to treat all this waste. So thank you for staying on top of it.
If no other comments, let's call the roll.
Leach,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item, item C, is an ordinance making amendments to Title 4, Chapter 1 of the Morton Municipal Code regarding fees for miscellaneous paving projects.
If we could have a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
This is an ordinance that we'd like staff, you know, myself, Nick, Zach, would like to add a permit fee to our code of $200 for asphalt, concrete flat work, site work, and other miscellaneous projects. A permit for this work is required per Article 4-1-2 of the code, and this would better align the permit cost for site plan review and inspection with this type of work. In a lot of cases, they're doing a parking lot but not a building, so it's been kind of a confusing thing, and we're not sending our building inspector out. So we feel this is appropriate and would take care of these and kind of clean things up for everybody.
Question.
Yep.
Would this apply for like a driveway replacement, existing driveway?
Nope, there's a separate inspection permit for that, $50, I think. And then residential homes, it's all included in the whole permit. So what we're really going after is these oddball commercials. You know, Nestle just did a big parking lot, Lighthouse did a big parking lot, and they're all willing to be compliant. It just looks confusing from us when we're trying to do a building permit, and we just need to add another miscellaneous in there to kind of a catch-all.
So, for example, like the work Nestle's did,
Yep.
prior to this, was that permitted?
We would do a permit, but yeah, that's the one that kind of really prompted this, because then it's kind of hard to figure out the cost, and I didn't and don't feel a building permit necessarily falls into that, where I think the cost would be kind of exponential to cover. A lot of times we do a building permit, it covers all of our inspections. You know, Jim to go out there, you know, Bob, Steven to go out there to inspect, and in this case they're not. So they would be giving us a cost of construction, which, you know, in a parking lot's going to be exponential and really didn't match up what we were doing. So they're fairly simple to review on our end, and, you know, not a ton of inspection either, if that makes sense.
There'd still be some site review, would there not?
100%,
If they're
yes.
changing
Yes.
permeable surfaces,
And that's what we went through with them. So, you know, there's a lot of work in between us on stormwater retention, but a lot of that work's going on the engineer. As long as they come back and, you know, we give them a little guidance.
but there's still some review on it.
Oh, 100%, yeah, it's all through site plan review. We review every inch of that drawing, you know, if it's a parking lot or a site or something, especially if it's affecting permeable surface, stuff like that. So really, this just kind of cleans up our code. Obviously, if we want to discuss the cost, this is just kind of what we came up with that we felt was reasonable with our other permits.
Now, I also, at least as far as the ordinance there, are we making a change to the foundation repair and splitting that?
Yes,
into different
I am
things?
glad you mentioned that, because I needed to bring that up. So I would also like to kind of break out egress windows. This actually came from staff dealing with them. We're not spending a lot of time on egress windows, and we felt that was probably more applicable to be $50 and kind of separate that and be a little less confusing to the foundation repair. We still could go get our eyes on it, but a lot of times we're going to open up the GIS, and if it's a big window repair, which still could be $1,000, or even just a window well around it, we're still making them get a permit. We're requiring that. But a lot of times we're looking at the drawing and seeing the gas is over here, the water's over here, and there's very little effort out of us to do that. Whereas the foundation repair is a little more effort, where they're excavating a lot more of the house and less of a defined location. So we're just trying to kind of clean this up. And really, we've only done, I think, 6 foundation permits in the last 8 months. So we don't do a whole lot of them. But I think this is a little more reasonable to the people that are doing egress windows. That may be something that actually costs $150 if they got to dig out and put a new window well or something like that in.
And Trustee Newman, I asked the staff about the asphalt, and I used my warehouse that I own. So I said if I replace my blacktop, I would fall under that. And I think it's appropriate. My building's approaching 60 years. Things have built up around it, so they can look at the water, whether we're putting blacktop back to the back of the curb, which I don't think we should, and different reasons. So I think it's time to have some oversight on that. And
No, I don't disagree with that.
Now, typical mill and overlay, where you're just going to repave or seal coat something, and the limits of it's not changing and the drainage is not, we would still like them to contact us, but we're not going to charge them for that. This would be an expansion of it. If it's, like in Jeff's case, there's some gravel there, and they put asphalt, or it gets into setbacks, then definitely that'd be a permit, and that would be what prompts our inspections to follow up and make sure it was built according to plan.
a way to improve those older neighborhoods that got those buildings.
It's about time you clean that up.
I know. I've been hearing that a lot
We appreciate him
lately.
bringing that up.
I'm trying. Any other questions? Okay, if not, let's call the roll.
Parrot,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Blunier. Mennel,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
motion carries.
Lastly, item D, I'd like to waive formal bidding and ask for acceptance of proposal using Sourcewell Purchasing for the 2024 CAT 289D3 XPS compact track loader for the street department in the amount of $44,044.00 from Altorfer Incorporated. This does include the trade-in of our 2021 CAT, same model. With their guaranteed buyback, they give us even more than that on the guaranteed buyback. The new buyback that's not written on here is in 3 years. They would give us a guaranteed buyback of $47,500 for this machine. That was budgeted, so with that, I'd like to ask for approval.
Move approval.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Leach,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
All right. Village trustees, anyone have anything tonight? If not, we need no closed session, so if we could have a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.